What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we gotta talk about the PS5 UI. They finally showed it. My God, Burger King actually came through in the end of all things, of all restaurant chains to come through. No, in all reality, though, we got the state of play. We got the PlayStation 5 UI. In all honesty, we didn't even get, I would say, all of it. I do feel like there's probably a few more smaller things that they didn't really show off all that much, or they just didn't show off at all that you probably can assume is still there. But we got a boatload of stuff from this. So I'm going to go over kind of just a general review after, but I'm going to start off by going over the 5 biggest things that I think, were shown off at this state of play, okay? Really quickly, if you guys like these kinds of videos, and I'll be doing many, many more for the PS5, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And also, if you guys have not yet followed me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter username. Podcast Now is actually taken. The link for that's in the description below. All right, let's just jump right into this. The number one thing, and these aren't, by the way, like ranking, like I'm not saying like literally like number 1, number 2, but these are all, I would say, kind of even, although some of them seem more important to me than others, is the activities. Activities, my God, we knew, I will say this, we had hints that there were going to be things like this in the PS5 UI. So the activities are, remember, when you're playing the game and you hit the PlayStation, button, and you pop up the whole like card system at the bottom, you can go through and you'll see some of the trophies, you'll see some of the news for the game, you'll see a lot of, it's kind of like a simplified version of what you get at the home menu, okay? And in this, there's literally the activity card, which breaks down some of the objectives / like trophies that you have to do, and now it gets a little spotty because they talk about how, obviously, okay, 1, you need PlayStation Plus to do that. Number 2 is it's very much, I think, and they kind of said it, a developer by developer, thing where if you're playing a game, the developers could do it. Also, I guess the PS5 is smart enough to figure some of it out for itself, but these are not going to be things in every single game by the sounds of it. But this is where you can jump in. Some of these things you can jump directly into the mission. So for Little Big Planet, obviously, there's the different levels that you can jump into. You can jump directly into that level and go through and get those objectives, and the system will even tell you. That's the part that the system knows. The system will tell you basically how much time is left until you find everything. That is incredibly cool. I hope as many games as humanly possible have that. Now, again, some games you're just not going to have that feature, but even in, and we see it, and we'll talk about it later, in like the home menu, when you go to a game, it sometimes will break apart the different objectives and the different, I would say, like options of the game in order to play them, and you can hit resume to any of those. So I'm thinking about the possibilities for like a multiplayer and single-player game where maybe there's literally a box you can jump into that leads you directly into the multiplayer menu. There's a lot of potential here, and they talked about that as well. The activity thing is definitely insanely exciting. The in-game help is my number 2 thing. Now, this goes kind of hand in hand, and this one is even more specific. This one is, okay, well, not every game's going to have this. This definitely seems like it's up to the developer. And honestly, it seems like the developer themselves are the ones that are making these videos. So this is if you need help with something. And I guess it needs to be something that is kind of specific. Maybe it's an objective in the game. Maybe it's a trophy for the game or whatever. But there could be videos on that on your PlayStation. Now, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I love it for a lot of reasons. I don't love it because I feel like being a content creator myself. Now, I don't do walkthroughs. I don't do like, okay, fine. Now, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I have made videos. Actually, I've been around for a long time. I have made videos of like how to find this sword in this game, or how to find the best weapon, or like how to level up. So, I mean, in that way, they're kind of taking away from people potentially finding those videos like on YouTube. But at the same time, they're making it more direct. If you need help in the moment, if you can't find something, the game could help you out. And it's non-spoiler. I do like that. That is cool. They talked about how you don't have to go through and read like articles. I mean, I love that. I don't love Scoobies. I have done that, actually. I have gone through articles, read through them, trying to find something. Sometimes it's not there. Sometimes I have to just waste my time getting through a bunch of stuff I don't actually need. So this does streamline things. This does make it a lot easier. It's just, again, from like the YouTube content creator, like Brian at PS5 Trophies. Like, he's phenomenal. Does that hurt him by having it kind of be integrated into the game? Maybe a little, but ultimately I think it's the best for the people that are playing the game in the moment. The share screen is the third thing, and that's something that absolutely popped out at me. Now, when the PS4 came out, share screen was enormous, right? It was a big talk of the town. It was something that I used personally to share my screen. I watched other people's. Now at the time, my internet wasn't very good. I think everybody generally probably has gotten like an internet boost over the last 7 years, so it's a whole lot better off now. And my God, does the PS5, right? The PS5 absolutely shows that off. So you can do your share screen, you can share your gameplay, basically doing a live stream in the system. Now that's something I would like to see. Being again like a content creator, I do live streams through the Elgato capture card, although I have done it through the PS4, which I do think is actually okay. Is there room for improvement? Oh my God, absolutely. That's something I would like to see a little bit more of, which I do not think I think we're going to see it literally day one when I turn on the PlayStation. I'm like, all right, if the Elgato doesn't work and I'm going to stream Miles or Demon Souls for you guys, let's just see what the PS5 can do. You know what I mean? Let's see what it can do day one. So, that is a little disappointing. I would like to see that. But the share screen idea, and by the way, and this goes with even like the in-game help video, all of these things, they're so seamless and they're happening at the same time that you're playing the game. Somehow the PS5 can handle that. And I know like Digital Foundry broke it down a little bit more where it's like there's game power that the system like allocates to, and then there's also the system power that the system allocates to. And this is still all the system. This is what the PS4 is also using to do all of the stuff it has to do in the UI stuff. They're using the exact same amount of power, and they even said that like they're using close to the same amount of power to power all of that stuff you're seeing in the PS5, and it should not interfere with the actual games that are going on as well, because that's a different kind of part of the system. That's incredible. I can't even wrap my head around that. But again, that goes into, okay, well, you're watching them play a game, which by the way, it's Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Now I don't know why they're pushing Lost Legacy when Uncharted 4 is the best Uncharted game ever made. I don't understand that, but whatever. That game is obviously a PS4 game that they're doing backwards, so it kind of was like a hint. It was showing even more than I think they meant to show, where it's like, okay, well, they're obviously playing the PS4 game on the PS5, and then they're share screening it, in which you can then watch it. And again, you can move that screen wherever, and I don't know, it's so incredible. You can literally watch somebody and talk to them about their game on like the left side of your screen while also just playing Sackboy. I mean, I just think that's absolutely incredible. Those are just, again, I didn't use, after like the first month, I didn't use share screen all that much. In fact, I haven't, right now, I haven't touched it in years, but something like this, the way they're doing it now, I don't know, I think I really feel like even like, some of my friends that play PlayStation, if they have a game that I don't have, or maybe they're farther in the game and I kind of want to see where they're at, I would totally say, hey, can you share screen it with me? And I can watch it, while I'm playing the exact same game in an earlier part. I mean, I think that would be insanely cool. Number 4 is the home screen. I mean, come on. Now, I guess the home screen / when you first power up your PlayStation, I was going to call it a PS3 because, yeah, I guess that leak was indeed true, that picture of when you boot it up, that very much is the exact same screen. So it looks very much like we're going back in time to the PS3. Nothing wrong there. I mean, it's simple, it's easy. It's not that, I mean, it just basically changes like rectangles to circles, right? They use that in PS4. Now we're going back to circles, which we used before. And then the main menu, the home screen, I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. They are putting an emphasis on all of the other things that are like part of the games rather than the game blocks themselves. And I'm fine with that. I'll be honest with you, like again, with all of this stuff, I don't know how much ultimately you're doing it to play games, okay? Now I guess I should say though that not everybody does that. There's some people that are really into like photo modes and they're like artists and they're super talented at that. There's some people that just do different things on the PlayStation, and I get that. For me, a lot of those things will probably end up they'll be insanely cool features, and I will give Sony props for all that, but will I use them all that much? No. And what it seems like the PS5 is doing is saying, okay, well, if you want to get into that game, we'll jump in. It'll take less than 8 seconds, right? Actually, I think we'll talk about that in a second. That'll be actually my 5th thing. You can jump into things from another thing. Starting it takes like 0 time at all. No loadings. I mean, all this stuff. You can jump right in. But we do want to put the emphasis on other stuff. So there's the Explorer screen, which they talked about is basically like a prototype thing, which is fine. I think it does, honestly, the way they talk about it, it does have potential. I think it can actually be something that really, really grows. But then seeing each individual game and how it breaks down into, hey, go down. And this, by the way, is where I'm talking about. Like, I think they do Destruction All-Stars for this, and they go down, and obviously you can play it. You can see where you could, like, buy it on the store, all that stuff. But then there's also the individual blocks of the, like, objectives and stuff like that, and you can see where it says resume. So that's a very, I think, an easy way. And I'm probably going to do that with some games. I'm going to go on them, go down, and say, hey, can I just jump in to a specific part of this? You have all that. You have this. You could see, by the way, in the blocks, you see the store, you see PlayStation Plus, you see PlayStation Now. So you see all that stuff, and they said that, you know, each media kind of piece will have its own, you know, block with stuff underneath it. So very good. I mean, it looks snazzy. It looks really, really snazzy. And so does, by the way, it's very, I think, Xboxy, but when you are doing it in a game and you see all the blocks, and then underneath they say how you can manage your parties, how you can manage like your friend requests and all that stuff, like the very, very bottom line. That's very much like what Xbox does, which is fine because I think it works. I think it's all in one place. It's all very easy to see. I like that. And the final thing is the quick jumping from one thing to the other. So I guess you could even call it, you know, just the quickness of the PlayStation console. But again, I mean, the best example is what they did. They were in Sackboy. Somebody was playing Destruction All-Stars. Now, they didn't even invite them. They could have invited them, but they just jumped into the game that was already happening, and they had to boot up, you know, Destruction All-Stars. And again, Digital Foundry said that, you know, we can't 100% tell how long it's going to take, but it takes around 8 seconds. Now, you know, does it jump depending game to game? I am wondering that. Does it take that, like, as we get further, and this is actually something I have been wondering for a while, and maybe you guys can answer. As we get further, like 3, 4, 5 years, and the games become even more taking power of the PlayStation, is that going to slow a lot of this other stuff down? Is it going to take more time to load these games, or are they going to get even better with loading times? I guess you could probably say that, because you look at Ghost of Tsushima, open world game. It's very beautiful. It's more beautiful than a lot of open world games that have come out, and the loading time is like 3 seconds when you're doing these fast travel things. It's insanely quick, and it came out at the very end of the PS4. So I guess I answered my own question. Things should honestly only get better. It shouldn't actually hurt anything. But my God, I mean, again, the quickness of being able to do anything, jumping from one thing to the other, sharing something, sharing your pictures. I assume, again, live streaming should be very, very quick. Jumping from Sackboy to Destruction All-Stars. I mean, it's so quick. And I mean, I've done it too. I mean, I've been playing one game, maybe like Ghost of Tsushima, and then I tell my friend, hey, do you want to play Fall Guys? And then we jump into Fall Guys. It takes some time. Now, it doesn't take a huge amount of time. Or Avengers, right? When I was doing like Avengers and Fall Guys. Now, it's just like, okay, well, let me send you the invite, and I'll see you there in 4 seconds, right? Absolutely insane. This was exactly what we needed to see. I think we needed to see this a while ago, not 1 month before the PlayStation 5 came out, but I am blown away with this. Now, again, we haven't touched it. Things could go wrong, but I mean, this is a positive video. If people are saying I've been a negative Nancy on PlayStation, not today, sir. This was a knock it out of the park kind of moment by PlayStation. So I'm very, very impressed. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Were you impressed by the PS5 UI? What were some of the biggest things that you got out of it? Let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all of these videos go up. And again, if you guys haven't followed me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter name. And by the way, I do have a PlayStation account for Podcast Now, so it's just Podcast Space Now. If you guys want to friend me on PlayStation, I accept all friend requests on that one. I don't do it on my personal one, but Podcast Now with a space in between is my username. Nathan Drake picture. If any of you guys want to friend me there, I'll be playing it quite often, not just in the end of this PS4 life cycle, but going into PS5. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.